Sure.
Welcome back, tribe. This is Intel Soul Tale, and we're here today talking with Lexi B, Ebree, and Tiny about relationships, love, and what our soul's journey looks like. So, we're going to start today with a topic that's a little tricky, and we're going to start with the married lady of the group. Don't laugh.
Put me on the
So,
spot, huh?
yeah,
Okay.
right? So, we're going to talk about relationship building. And if you can, Tiny, give us any information about what you did in your process of relationship building and how you got to marriage and where you are now. Can you tell us a little bit about
Woo,
Well,
girl.
if that's not a loaded topic for us.
What,
that
girl? That's a loaded topic, but
was
baby,
that
that
was
shit
all of
ain't
the
easy.
stuff. That was all of the stuff all in the first question.
it? Okay, I'm gonna just say,
Cause that
I just want
shit
my
ain't easy. I don't care who tell you that it is, but baby, it's not. Do you understand?
No,
You
it is
take the
not.
shit, you swallow it, because it's a give and take. And it
don't
just gotta
worry,
be, is
Ebree.
that person
You
worth it?
next,
That's
Miss. I've been in a relationship all my life. You next.
Yeah.
Not all my life.
Go ahead, Tiny. Go ahead.
Girl. Um shoot. I mean, I guess coming into the marriage relationship, I went into it, I don't have anything to lose. So it's kind of my first relationship where I didn't show up with my representative majority of the time, you know. In most relationships, you want everything to look good, you want it to feel good, you want the best version of yourself. And not that I didn't do that, but I also had to be me earlier. I chose to be me earlier than I did in the past, which made some conversations a little more difficult up front. But long term, I think it pushed growth in the relationship that wouldn't have happened otherwise. And it created an environment where I felt my wife and I had more freedom to express ourselves as we truly are and not what society expects us to be and how to act in our relationship.
Facts, 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 facts.
You did that good.
Very well.
You
Very,
know, you
very
came
well.
through, okay?
As
Listen,
fuck
I'm gonna
society.
just,
Sorry, go ahead.
that's your kudos right
Woo!
there.
I'll take them. I take. We put in a lot of work. Credit to my wife though, because she made me talk more in our relationship than I have in any other relationship, which drives me crazy. But it was really good for us. We got like conversation cards that we did as a couple with friends. We didn't really do it with family, but we could have, and it sparked different topics for us to discuss other than just things that randomly come up in life. So, how do you feel about this, that, and the other? So you can really see if you're a match, if you're bonding on more than just the surface level of life things, and are you really willing to stand on what you feel right now because we're pushing a conversation that wouldn't happen until later based on some of the topics that show up on those conversation cards. So I feel like we did a lot of talking. I don't know if we did as much understanding as we should have, uh, but um, that part was good. That increased my all my personal relationships actually grew because of that piece.
They sure did.
Ooh.
We just gonna get one and two up for both of us because 8 years ago we started at one. Now this is one of my best friends in the whole wide world. So she's right. So, Ebree, I want to give
My
you.
bad. I gotta say, I thought she was starting over here, so that's why I was like, "Woo!"
Oh no no
But
no! I was
yes,
No,
gonna give you.
appreciate it, Ebri. You're taking the heat off of me on the first question.
I'm gonna tell you the
yeah,
truth
my
though.
bad.
I'll tell you the truth. Truth is, I want to get this. I have not been married, but I've been in a relationship longer than the marriage currently on the panel. It's
Hmm.
Tiny, you've been in a relationship longer than she's been married. How is it being in a long term relationship with someone that you love, of course, um, but without marriage?
Don't do that shit.
We gotta get to
You
it.
gonna get
We
on
gotta
it.
get
You gonna
to
feel like, what the hell? By the cow, you get the milk for free. That old school ass saying. But you think you grown and you know it all and you gonna do it. So I'm gonna end it with this. You love that person, period. You do. But know your worth. And then after that, it's just that's all I can say. Don't stay in no long ass relationship without that damn ring. And this is a testimony, period. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Don't do that shit.
You see how she shut me down right there. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna go to
And don't
you
ask shit
because
else.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. I ain't been in a relationship in 5 years. Okay, and I'm gonna give you the timeline when it's my turn to talk for 5 years. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna hope that you got less time than me on this singletonship. How have you been navigating relationships and healthy relationships?
Wow. Is healthy even the word? I mean, like, 'cause I'm like Ebri. I'm not gonna hold no. I'm gonna say what it is. So honestly, I wasn't dating for a while. I'm just now getting back into the dating scene, and boy, this shit tiring.
Yes, ma'am.
as
Absolutely. Me
Mhm.
too. Ooh.
as a fuck, like, because I'm somebody who it's like I value honesty. I am to the point. I am super direct. I don't care how you feel about it. That's just me. You gonna take me as I am, or you not gonna take me at all, type stuff. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of dudes, they really be on all bullshit, and they can't take it. They can't take
I'm
it.
so glad to hear this. I wish that one day in the future we're gonna have a man on here. Trust me, because my best Africans they always want to talk to some women.
Hey, them
But
Africans, they don't play.
that that's
They don't play.
hey.
Okay, like look.
Hmm.
So and it's yeah. So Caribbean men are Caribbean, African, Latino men. They are definitely different. I was
Yes.
raised by all Caribbean men, so I think that's also why I am who the way I am. But yeah, it's hard. It's really hard. Like just because it's always that thin line between like your insecurities or your intuition and like you know what I'm saying, or just really what's the right word? I don't know, but it's an experience. All I can say is to the single mamas out there, my favorite favorite phrase: living your truth, baby girl. Can't nobody judge you for doing you and being you. And the ones who matter don't mind, and the ones who mind don't fucking matter. Period.
Listen, right hand to man.
Hey,
Right hand to
amen.
Period.
Hallelujah.
man. Do you understand? Yes, yes. So
Yeah.
so look, Lexi B and I, we in the same space. I just started back dating. Like I have my eldest baby is about to be 6 years old. I haven't had a real date in 5 years. Understand me? My even the father of my children didn't take me on a real date. So that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. Okay. But started back and let me tell you how God works, guys. He will bring everything you never closed in the past to the current. And he'll place a new man in your life. And he'll make you make a decision. I ain't ready for the decision part. But as far relationship wise, I think at this point my children are old enough for me to be okay and old enough for me to say, hey, you guys want to meet this person? If they say no, I move that way. If they say yes, I move that way. If I'm comfortable, if I'm safe, I'm okay. Like you said, let's just take the chance, right? As a mom, who's there, gonna be there. If they not, they
Mhm.
not. I don't know much about it. Everybody's better than me when it comes to relationships because I don't accept nothing less than what I want, and I want what I want. You breathe, you know, Tiny, you know, Lex, you go get to know, boo. Like I want only what I want, and I'm down for the fight to get to it. So, you know,
Yeah.
that is what it is. So, thank you, ladies, so much for that. We're gonna go to our next topic, and our next topic is creating unhealthy expectations. And I'm gonna start with you, Lex, because you're not in a relationship, so you understand what it looks
Woo.
like to be starting in a space
Ain't
where
nobody gonna like what I got to say.
it's fine. Shoot the
Get
shit,
right.
girl. Shoot the
Somebody
shit.
gotta say
Listen,
it.
shit.
Somebody gotta
Somebody
say
gotta
it.
say
Just
it.
say it.
Trust and believe.
Hey,
Just say
Somebody
it.
like it.
all
Facts.
right. I'm gonna be
Creating.
honest. I'm a woman's woman through and through.
Yeah.
But as a woman's woman, I have to say it. We don't pay attention enough sometimes.
Oh,
We
that's
don't
Hmm.
fucking we
Facts.
don't pay attention enough.
yeah.
We be so wrapped up in what we want and our expectations of a motherfucker and how we see things going. Niggas will oops, sorry, whoops. They will tell you, like
Refrain.
I'm saying, dudes will tell you straight the fuck up like what it is. They
Yep.
will tell you what it is. They'll give you all the signs, but because you are so wrapped up in your ideal reality, you're not paying attention to shit. And then when that shit come to a head, you be so upset and so distraught. And how the fuck could he? But you gotta take accountability, baby girl.
Mhm.
Because how the fuck could you? How the fuck could you lower your standards? And how the fuck could you ignore what that man was saying to you? Like you really got them old heads gonna tell you all the time. A man only gonna do what you allow him to do. Okay? They gonna tell you, baby girl. They gonna tell you. So what I can say is about an unhealthy expectation. If these are your expectations, make sure you keep them in the forefront of your brain. Keep them in the forefront of any situation. And if that man is even a little bit out of alignment with what you know that you want for you, dead it. Don't try to make excuses for that man. Don't try to be like, oh, well, I can change him. You can't change a man that don't want to be changed, baby. You are not his mama. That's not your job. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's not it. So keep that shit in the forefront. If he ain't it, he just ain't it. But just know there are plenty of fish in the sea. And that one man who ain't it, there are five others who are. You know what I'm saying? In so many ways. So yeah, that's my tea. Don't shoot me. Thank you.
Oh, I want to go to you, Tiny. Creating unhealthy expectations in marriage. What does that do?
Whew. Um, I think the most unhealthy expectation I had is that um, we were growing together, or that you and your spouse grow at the same times,
Mm-mm.
or parallel equally to where it's balanced and understood. If somebody's going through something, either it's their turn, then my turn, or our turn, and that there's there's the patience and understanding that comes with that. That's separate from your core relationship. And I learned that that was not my expectation on that was false, because I can't just expect someone to understand what my path of growth looks like when I don't know what it looks like until I'm going through it. And
Yeah.
how fair is it of me to assume that the other person is going to grow just because I'm growing? Because I can't make them do that either.
Whew.
And if it ain't their time, it ain't their time.
Cause it ain't. Whew.
It
It
ain't
ain't.
right.
Ooh, bring the fan out. Oh Jesus.
Listen,
Yeah.
don't you be spitting gospel chapters and verses,
Hey, that's
okay?
the truth. Okay.
Right? Yes. So, Ibri, I'm always last, y'all. Okay, understand? Because I'm far from removed from this stuff. But Ibri, I'm gonna ask you, what is the expectation that you created that was the most unbalanced in the relationship you're in?
So, as we piggyback before, being with someone for that time, that amount of time, and though you love this person, I think even after jumping the broom, and I can say we've been together longer than folks who've been married, I think that I've come to find myself to recognize that you can't set an expectation for somebody and you don't have it together yourself. So that's a
You burning them,
proverb
girl.
in
Burning.
itself. So in a sense, you can set an expectation, but how you gonna ask this person when you don't even have it together yourself type stuff? So I think when I like wind it back and I just reflect over everything, like starting from here, like if I have it, I guess it's kind of a tadpole or a mixture of both of what they're saying in a sense, One is married, one is not currently in a relationship, and I'm literally in the middle of it. So I feel like I can toggle both lines in a sense. Like, I want this from you, but baby, I gotta match you. And I think a lot of times girls or women go into it, you gotta do this, this, and this, and this. But baby girl, do you have it together? And I think it's a reflection of coming back to yourself and like, before I set this expectation, which I deserve, let me make sure I'm bringing this to the table because I mean, 10 times fold, I want it back, you know? And it's kind of like, not to get having arrogance on you, but if I can do it myself, I have the right to expect it from you. You know, and I feel like you don't have the right in a sense to expect it from somebody when you don't hold up your own end or you cannot match what you want from somebody else. So that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Thank you,
I
girl.
feel it.
I understand that. I understand that. So, I guess I'll give you guys the most unhealthy expectations that I created about relationship. I thought that you could love a man to death. I thought you could
Mm.
only give 2% of yourself and allow him to love you 2% and give and love him to death. Just love him, love him, love him, love him. And he would not see that you are only giving 2%. I was a fool by that standard. Like at the end of the day, I mean, it came back to bite me because um, you can love a person to death, but if you don't shut that wall down, if you don't cut it down and say, hey, you can love me equally, they'll feel it. They'll show up. It'll be the cheating. It'll be the I'm concerned. It'll be the I'm drawing back. All those feelings. But if you're not 100% who you are supposed to be in that relationship, every person can see it, no matter how much you try to hide it. That's the unhealthiest expectation. I thought I could hide how broken I was. Thought I could hide how much I was protected, how dark my heart had become, how cold I had become from anyone. And in a relationship, you can never hide those things. Because if a person is looking, man, woman, indifferent, whatever you identify as, if you're looking for a person's love, you're going to find it. If you're not,
Mm.
you're just not. And the expectation that someone's going to see the world the way you do, it's to be a fool. No one's going to see the world how you do.
I'm
No
a
one's
big.
going to see the world how your best friend does. Only only person's going to see the world how you do is you. You expect your expectation should be that a person is going to see the world different from me. Let me pull on that. He sees it so different from me. She sees it so different from me. They see it so different from me that they're feeding and growing. That's when you move into it, right? But when it's unhealthy, you never see that expectation of it or that adaptation of it. You only see what we see, right?
Okay.
Listen, Lex, don't you pull that glass back on me like that,
Now
okay?
look, I thought you had a bottle looking, baby. We gonna be going
Yes.
all night. Look.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So I'll start myself with this one. So this next topic is therapy. It took me, I've been out of the Marine Corps 15 years. It took me 11 years to decide that I need to be better. And not just to decide, to say, hey, therapy is going to make me better because I can't do it. I don't know an adult who can teach me more. I don't know anyone who has fixed themselves. I don't know one friend or one person or one adult who has stopped those generational curses and contexts, who have stopped the things that they don't want to be. So it took me 11 years because I am one of those black girls from the city and the country. Let's be clear. Hey, what goes on in this house, stay in this house. Don't you let it out.
Ooh,
Don't you
trigger.
Mhm.
dare.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Don't you dare. How
Took the
disrespectful.
words
Who are
out of
you
my
talking
mouth.
to? Who are
There you
these
go.
people? Who are
Trigger.
you
Yes.
including in this household, right? I believed in it. I knew it. My mama is the love and the bane of my existence. My father is the love and the bane of my existence. And they gave me that but something on the inside told me better. I want to be better for my kids. I want to show up the way my mom and dad told me that they wanted to show up for us, right? Uh, so, in those 11 years, I fought about it. I went to therapy. I've been in therapy since my son, before he was born. So for the last 6 years, on and off, back and forth, finding the right therapist, doing these different things. I realized through therapy that if you don't want to be better, you won't.
Whew.
Mhm.
Period. There is nothing else. If you don't want to be better, you will not. You don't want to do better, you will not. If you don't want to grow out of the things that every single person in your family went through for generations and generations, you will not. So
Wow.
through that, through those things, through learning, therapy, I've gotten out of it that everything I love is the most important thing to me. That if I don't choose me, I don't benefit them. In therapy, I've learned if I want to be the mother I want to be, all I got to do is try. And in therapy, I learned that the less hands on I am, Tiny, don't you say nothing. Aaron, and don't you say nothing either. The less hands on I am, the better woman I am. And the better woman I can be, the more love I can give all the people I want to be hands on to.
Amen.
You know, and I'm gonna pass this to E Bree because we had a moment today, and I know that though we don't all practice therapy, how one person's practice of it can help another. So I'm gonna pass it to you. What's been your best therapeutic moment in this life?
Hmm.
Don't you cry either.
I'm not. I'm gonna hold it. I'm gonna hold it. I mean, you know very well. It took some years to undo a lot of things because childhood trauma is real, and when you grow up with it and having to turn around and reflect over, oh, that's not normalcy. Like that's not normal at all. Um. The question being therapy, what like how therapy has helped, or a
What
specific
is your best therapeutic moment between you and I over 12 years being a friend?
therapeutic moment between you and I?
Yeah.
Oh, girl, we can get deep into this though, right?
Get
We can
into
get
it.
deep, right?
Get into it. Just think
You
of
ready to
one
shoot the
moment.
shit?
I'm ready.
You ready?
I'm ready. Don't make me cry.
All right, Lex, I get a little sensitive about this because it's my heart right here, okay?
That's okay, but
It's my heart.
if you start crying, I'm gonna start crying. So can we just
Listen,
make
y'all,
like she
don't
said?
start
Don't
crying. We
cry.
grown up.
Okay.
Don't cry.
The
Thank you.
Hey,
therapeutic
hey, hey,
moment.
hey, hey! Don't diss her vulnerability, okay?
There we go.
You're
If she wants
absolutely
to be
All
right.
right.
vulnerable
All
enough to
right.
No,
cry
I
on
accept it.
camera, let her
right.
do it.
Everybody
Feel
in
Let
here
her
knows
do
stuff,
it.
but
You
I
gotta
don't have a
grow.
problem with
Therapy
You're
feeling
teaching me.
stuff.
Feel your
Right.
feels. Go ahead, boo. Go
Tears are
ahead.
not
I think
weakness.
you
We will
know where
not
I'm
do
going, but I think I'm gonna hold it though. I'm gonna hold it for this section,
Go ahead.
okay?
Go ahead.
I feel like you know where I was finna go, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
hold it for this section.
Just give me a good moment. One good moment.
Baby, I can give you college 1,000 good moments. Do you understand? My heart. Okay. So being in we learn in conversation, we learn how to express stuff and we learn how to use words. Being and understanding who you are and the type of woman you are. Being an alpha female and a best friend with an alpha female. You have some head-on collisions. Hell yeah.
Hey,
And that's indefinite. And y'all are two peas in a pot that's bobbleheading, like for real. But when you know that your best friend can know how to, both of y'all, let's say that, use your words, and you know what the trigger point is from your best friend, and you choose to not collectively use those to weaponize one another, and y'all are some both dominant ass MFers. Let me just choose my words wisely because we on a podcast. Like, that's when you know it's signed, sealed, and delivered. When trader for the world. And it's like, it's one of those things that allows you to grow, you know. And I think it's a beautiful moment. And no, I won't get sentimental because it's not something that you can. And matter of fact, I think I know I had this conversation with you earlier, Alexis. Like, like you have to pluck in different flower beds who you want in your circle. So you plucking out of this one, you plucking out of that one, you plucking out of this one, and what's fits your village to grow you. So therapeutic moments, that moment, and I don't even need to go back into it, but knowing that we match one another, like nothing you can say that would, oh, you can't come with me with this one. Nothing you can say, you can't come with me about her. You can't do it. And it's one of those beautiful things to where I feel like therapeutic wise, learning how to come back and use your words. And at the end of the day, bro, I love you. And it signs, seals, and delivers everything. And I think that's what's missing out of a lot of things in this lifetime.
Oh, what happened, Lord?
Where is Monet at?
I'm here. I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
No.
No. Did you try to mute yourself with the cough and you turned your camera off?
Quite possibly.
I feel like she's coming back. We wind it back. We wind it back. We wind it back. We wind it back. But I'm not going to take up all the time. But I feel like being able to recognize your village and really knowing, because in this day and age, let's be honest, like friends are hard to come by. So when I say pluck out of a different flower bed, and you got to really, and I've had my side conversations with each of you, and I feel like, Constance, and then when I come back in my Lexi B and my job area, like I found me my person, it's so beautiful. Like, it really, 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 really is. And I just feel like learning in therapeutic moments how to understand verbiage and how to use your words, because that sews up a lot of things. And a lot of things get miscommunicated because, we're taught a set group of words to express your feelings. But the vocabulary is long. And when you can find that one word that really depicts how you feel and you're able to exercise it and use it in a dialogue or whatever, like it's like communication is like, and like it allows you to even move forward. And I feel like it might seem small to some people, but it's really big, especially when you express your love and you want the best in your relationships, And I went on about it a little earlier. Like, I feel like I'm very blessed because I got some hitters around me, and it's just like you can shoot the shit and they understand you. And it's like nobody gonna leave out the conversation feeling offended. You say what you say what you mean, and you move forward. And I love that about the group of people that I am surrounded with. It's surrounded with love and truth, and I can go on and on and on and on and on. And at the end of the day, everybody just wants what's best for you and them. Like we speak life into each other. So very therapeutic, and I love it. Okay, Lexi, be your turn.
It's my turn.
You're right. Lexi, I got a good question for you though.
Can I before you say it, can I just say a little something, because it's been on my heart to say.
Go ahead.
To kind of piggyback what Tiny was talking about with the vulnerability, I just want to say, Constance, thank you for accepting me and inviting me into this podcast, because you don't know me. Look, and people watching this ain't gonna know, but I'm gonna tell them I just met you an hour ago.
Yes.
I just met you an hour ago. But this is something that's really deep, and we're really getting to people's psyches and people's, like, what I'm saying, really like their morals and who they are as people. And for you to be that vulnerable with me, a new person, that shows strength, because I would have been like, I'm sure you cool with her, but
yeah, right.
I don't know if I'm about to cry in front of this bitch. I don't know her. Sorry, please. But yeah. So I just want to say thank you for having me and for being you and being who you are and accepting me in this point. Okay, girl, what's your question?
You're so welcome. Oh my God.
Thank
okay,
you.
guys, don't make me blush, okay? I'm too lifeless.
Yeah, tell the people.
No, listen, like same statement. At the end of the day, listen, I'm gonna tell you something. Me and Aaron's relationship, it's a long story. But that is the she is the second love of my life. You understand? And it's tough, it's nice, it's sweet, and we've gotten through those hard moments. And she knows at the end of the day, she would never introduce me to you if it wasn't solid. I know that for a fact. I can stand on that with 10 toes. She'd have never introduced me to you if it wasn't solid because she know where I'm at. She knows who I am. She knows where I'm going to go with everything. If you're not a good person, if I don't feel good energy, I'm be like, Eve.
Why the fuck you?
Different.
Why you reading
That's
this?
I don't know her. I don't know her.
We got to talk about this.
Exactly. So thank you for coming on. Thank you. And
Definitely.
it was an hour ago. And you said, hey, yes. So that means you believe in the person I love as much as I believe in the person I love.
Most
I love
definitely.
both
And I
of
can
y'all.
appreciate it every day.
Definitely.
So, Lexi, let's get into it.
Whew. Okay.
I don't know if you've been in therapy. I don't know if you haven't.
Yeah.
But either if you have, what's the best moment, the peak moment when you realize, hey, I want to be a better woman in therapy? Or what's the moment when you said, hey, I think therapy is what I need to get to grow?
I think, and it sounds crazy. My first therapist, she was my most influential therapist because she was really like raw, and she was an older white lady. So like it just I didn't expect this from her. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, okay? And she would tell me straight up, yeah, because I don't pussyfoot around the issues.
Oh,
That's what
I
she
like
used
her.
to tell me. She's like, I don't pussyfoot.
Yes. Break out the pussyfoot.
Exactly. I was like, okay, Margaret, you better
Yeah. Margaret. Hey, Margaret, you pussy put
yeah.
around. There we go.
Exactly. That was my dog, but she really helped me because I was so like Aaron was talking about like those childhood traumas. Hey, them little stick with you, okay? If don't nothing else
Lifetime
stick
and
with you,
learning right there.
they gonna stick with you, okay? And she used to tell me, and she would tell me like, being an adult is being the parent that you always wished you had.
Okay.
You have
You,
Mm.
to.
you got babies?
I ain't got no, no.
No. Okay, so you and E Bree, y'all
Yeah,
parentless babies on the show.
yeah.
Let me tell you something. I got a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old. I
Mm.
love my
May
mama
the
with
Lord
my
bless
heart.
you.
Understand me? I love my father with my heart. Two children don't know how to raise children. They only know how to be children. Okay? All my heart. But the only thing I know in this world, those two kids, see a whole another person in the person my parents were.
Yeah.
Because everything they gave me and everything they didn't, all the benefits to my children. That is a fact what your therapist said. Be the parent that you never had only because they didn't know how to be. Not a
Mm-hmm.
problem, but they didn't know who you needed because they didn't know who they were. When you be
Facts.
that person, you're the best person in the world. You'll never fail.
Most
Never
definitely.
because you'll always show up. You'll always
Mm.
do that extra thing. You'll always go that extra mile. You'll always step that extra step when you're tired, when you're hungry, when you're sick, when you ain't able to get up, when depression hits you, all of that. Those babies, they make you say, hey, are you going to be the good mommy? Or are you going to be the person you know?
Yeah.
Who you going to be?
Period. Woo. What
Oh,
they
you singing,
said.
baby. That was you getting on
Look,
the
what they said. Right?
Official cosign. That's a hard
Because I
cosign
was
right there.
That's the stamp
yeah, I
on
was
it.
about
That's
to
the
be like,
stamp
look,
on it.
uh.
Yes.
Dog. But literally that girl, literally that, and not just for your babies, but because, like you said, we don't have children, so for ourselves, we have to hold ourselves accountable. We have to tell
Hmm.
ourselves that we are enough and we are loved. We have to do these things for ourselves and make sure we, you know what I'm saying. So it's just really, yeah. Shout out to Margaret Rittenhouse. That's my dog. Yo,
Margaret gave you the game.
hey, Margaret, don't play
She said,
with that
hey,
girl.
Take that
She
credit
came in
card.
with
But
a tissue
sometimes
box.
you
I was
need
like,
that,
here
and
you go.
the piggyback off of what you were saying, like
Yeah.
you know, growing up in that household, what stay in this house happens in this house. That is the,
Mm-hmm.
in a
Mm.
sense, that can be the most unhealthiest thing ever. Because how do you elevate when you don't see outside of what you know? Because the truth is, you don't know what
And
you
when you
don't
don't
know.
Yep.
ask,
You
Yep.
don't know what you don't know.
you
And when
gotta
you
ask
speak,
questions.
there you go. And you
Read,
have to seek
think,
for it. And like
ask.
what you said earlier, if you want to change, you're going to make that change.
That
And there's nothing that's going to stop it. You can go with all the information that sits right in our face. You're going to make that change. And so I'm a big believer in therapy and stepping outside. Let's walk through these and let's see how we go
Mm-hmm.
take these dynamics of what you grew up with all you know, and how are we gonna change this for the better? Because clearly, what you know in a sense ain't working. It ain't.
exactly.
It's
It's
really
not
messing up
working.
a lot of your
It
mind.
ain't fixed you. It ain't fixed your family.
It
It
ain't
ain't
none of
fixed
that. Nope.
nobody around you. It ain't fixed your relationship patterns. It ain't fixed how you looking at
None
these
of that.
kids. You looking at them like, oh, I can't stand them. Really, you can't stand you.
Yep.
Mm,
Mm.
mm. Yeah. So I'm gonna go to
Woo.
Tiny because Tiny is my. She's listen. She got a baby who was in the world. She loved her little sweet puppy babies, but she got one who was here, and then she processed that part, and then she got one that was a teenager. So she way past all of us. I'm gonna go ahead and give it to her. How has therapy helped you? Because I remember the days when you was a kissing, and I was trying to talk you on it. How has therapy helped you? How has it shown up in your life, or has it helped you? Is a question. You got a teenager, you have a wife, you have siblings who love you who are not your blood. Has therapy shown up in any of those ways that it helped? Did it not? Give me whatever therapy gave to
I mean, I would say I grew up. What happens in the house stays in the house too. It ain't nobody's business but the people who live here, and we not talking about it either. So you shouldn't be talking about it with anybody.
you.
Woo.
And so you got to figure your stuff out on your own, with no help, and that's hard. That's hard to know what to do, and how to know how to feel and navigate if you don't have actively emotionally involved parents,
Hmm.
who see
Amen.
you, um, because as a child, you don't know what's happening with you, let alone how you feel about what's happening with you. Um, you have to hope that your home is a safe space, but it doesn't mean that it is. And even if it is, you have to still perceive it to be as safe as it actually is. So, your perspective can channel a lot of your childhood trauma, um, create some that is or is not maybe even there. It's kind of how you see it, and that's what I worry the most about my son is because I don't see the world through his eyes, but I try.
Mhm.
So
How hard is
I,
that?
ooh, it's it's hard. It's hard. One, because he's a boy and I ain't lived life as a male in this world.
Right? Facts.
We're different races, we're different genders. I came in as a step parent. So he already had an established childhood before me. So I have to catch up and meet him where he is.
You did good, girl. You did good.
Thanks. Well, you were there when I was crying about being a bad mom
I
all those
was.
days.
I was. And on those days, what did I tell you? It doesn't matter. Does he love you? Does he say it? Does he show it? Keep going. That's it. That's all you can do.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah. And
Um,
him and I, we had some rough years, because he's coming into his person, and I was challenging him based on where I saw he could be or where he was going, um, to grow because I didn't feel like anybody had pushed me to grow. So, when people are pushing growth in your life, you bump heads like all of us ladies have on this call. Um, with our respective people, you bump heads in growth because someone's challenging you outside of your comfort zone. And until you
Fact.
now have a more established comfort zone, is real uncomfortable. And
Even you,
also,
Lexi B.
Girl.
look,
I gotta accept new people. Damn it, that's pushing me outside of my
Well,
comfort
I
zone.
mean,
no new
we
friends,
together.
no new
We
No
friends.
together.
new friend.
We together.
We 30, no new friends,
I
okay?
know.
Friends stop in the 20s, okay? No. Soul family starts in the 30s. I'm sorry.
Okay,
These
so
are
that's
serious applications.
Lexi, that mean you in the soul tribe, girl. You in
but
there.
hey,
Yeah.
sign me for the win. Okay,
There you
hallelujah.
go.
Yes, girl. I like that. Because I've been, oof. Okay, yes, sorry. Go
I
ahead.
still ain't answered the therapy question, but we get there.
It's coming.
So I got into therapy actually earlier this year for the first time. And I, like, Constance said, I was against it for
Absolutely.
the perceived stereotypes that come with it, not because it wouldn't be beneficial for me.
Powerful.
So I got in because the amount of growth I was trying to do personally was too hard on my marriage. It was too much for my wife to hold, and it's not her responsibility to hold it. This is my stuff to work on. I can't expect her to be there through all of these conversations and helping me through things neither one of us know how to navigate. So I ended up picking a therapist, going to online sessions because of COVID and all of that. I didn't want to find an in-person. I'm not a in-person person most of the time. So small
She
group,
not.
okay, small group. But I don't know that the therapist I got was the best fit for me to challenge me, but she pushed me to consider things and conversation tracks a little differently than I was navigating with Constance on our personal side. So we were
She said
navigating more
no.
spiritual growth path, and my therapist was pushing me to consider more things about myself. And what I really learned in therapy, biggest thing is I don't know what I like as a 34-year-old woman in this world.
Amen. Praise God. Most of us don't. Don't stand out there and say, "Oh, I know." You don't. You don't even know
Look.
what color is your favorite in real life. You know what color your mama favorite is, your daddy
Ooh,
favorite is, your
ooh,
siblings favorite is, your
ooh,
man's favorite is, but you don't know
ooh.
what your favorite color is.
Right?
You don't know nothing about your
No.
anything.
What clothes do I even like to wear? When she asked me that question, I didn't even know what to say.
Mm,
I don't know. I don't
mm.
know what my style is. I
I know what
pick
my
what
wife's style is, right? We know what our wife's style is. We
I
know what
know
our
what my
son's
wife likes to
style
see
is,
me in. I
and
know what's acceptable
you know
in
what
this
look,
environment.
you know what the sons say, "Mommy, cover up." Cover that up. I'm 14. I can't have you out here showing everything, Jesus. Yeah.
But it's like little stuff like that. So I guess she pushed me to dig more into my personal self and figure out who am I really after all of the layers and all of the pieces. If I'm not trying to meet someone else's expectation, who am I at the end of that? Because I can be all of these things to everybody else, but that does not define who I am, and that doesn't justify my worth. It's only an additional part of me, but where is me in all of that? And if I'm giving everything I have, then what am I giving to myself?
Mm-hmm.
Because I
That's good.
wasn't I wasn't giving back to me.
Mm.
Certified was not.
Can't hold
Uh,
it.
and I have to start doing that. And what does that look like? Because I don't know. And I'm a big Brene Brown fanatic.
Super.
For the reason Constance knows her name.
Super. And because she got my other best friend name outside of Erin, she got my other best friend.
And that's why I'm so big on vulnerability, because I realized, like, I missed out on a lot of that growing up. And if I'm going to have, soul tribes in my life, I need that. I'm not going to settle for less than that, because I have enough surface level relationships. whether they're work, whether they're somebody we can just go get dinner
Woo,
with or
girl.
whatever, mm-mm.
Girl,
Super
yes.
fact. Am I getting
Fact.
an amen on three parties?
Hallelujah.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Amen.
Yes.
It takes too much effort, personal effort and energy on my behalf to maintain a surface level relationship. It is draining.
Drink.
So if I'm not getting something back, if it's not being reciprocated in a soul friendship, soul family, I ain't here
The
for it.
word.
That's
That's
a fact.
positive.
You touched
I just
on
want to
a
say,
nail.
I
And
just
I
want to
really
thank Tiny and Aaron and Lexi B for giving me, praise God. I'm charging about 125 an hour for these. Praise God.
Put it on my
Okay.
tab.
Listen, listen, y'all don't have to worry about it because y'all are my God given amen to the
Amen.
word. You understand?
I appreciate you. Amen. Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Listen.
I have to say, Tiny, you hit that on the nail. Cause like
On
right
the
before you finna say
board.
it, like it's like picking a village is so special. And if you don't
Mm,
grow up with it and you go out into this world, and I think it's divine to find those right people to set outside you to create that cover, like that covering for you. All
yes.
right, this is what it is.
Mhm.
We're gonna hold you up. In understanding each person's foot leg in that. We got you, sis. Like we
Every
got
day.
you, but are
All
you
day.
holding your own self accountable for this? And
Mhm.
Tiny, you hit it on the nail, and it makes you to be so honest. No new friends.
Absolutely
no
not. But Lexi B, you
new
slid on
friends.
in that thing.
I
Listen,
was about to, but you know what's
you
real crazy?
slid.
I slid on in this little trifecta, but I was
Mm,
literally on the same shit as y'all. So I was like, I don't want to be no new
hey.
bitches. Fuck that shit, cause I ain't ready. I'm not even.
Done.
But
You know
like
what it
that's
is,
why I
Lexi? You know what it
appreciate
is? I'm
her
gonna tell you the
because
truth. Truth.
yeah,
Fact
she's
is, when
soul.
it's your tribe to be in,
You gonna be there.
at the end of the day, you gonna be there. What's
Yes,
yours
ma'am.
is
That's it.
yours. Can't
And can't
nobody
nobody
take that
take
from you.
that from
Not
you.
even you.
Yeah.
Understand
Mhm.
that. Not even you can take what's yours away from you.
Yes,
What's
ma'am.
yours is yours. It'll always stay as yours. It don't matter how long it takes for you to get to yours. You're gonna get
It's
there.
Aaron, that's how you know you in motherfucking alignment because I just said that shit. Me and Aaron was just having a conversation
Mm,
and literally those exact words were spoken. Boy, let me
exactly.
say, let me say,
Exactly.
I'm gonna say another benediction. People always say God works in mysterious ways. It's mysterious because you're not paying attention to what that man is doing in your
Amen.
life. Amen.
Amen.
Remember what
A
you
right
prayed
hand
for.
to the hold on.
Hey,
Right hand to the man.
That part.
remember
That
what you
Hey,
part.
prayed to that man for, because he definitely gonna come back. He gonna spin the
he
block
gonna
on
give it
you.
to you. He
He
gonna
gonna spin
Right.
spin
the block.
right, Lexi. He gonna spin the block on you.
Spin the
He
block
gonna
on
make
you.
sure he
Mm.
all the way around.
I feel it. You know what I'm saying? And it makes
All the
stuff
way
so
around. You
much
understand? Like
better, for
he gonna make
sure.
sure he see you. And you gotta make sure to understand that when he sees you, he sees.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Be seen. There's
Yes,
so
ma'am.
many of us in this world who are standing around trying to be seen but not being seen. There's a difference. I want to be seen if somebody sees me.
Period.
Period.
Ooh. Ooh.
We
Yeah.
have to figure out what that looks like. And most people don't know, right?
Mm.
I'm gonna say, I know my tribe. At the end of the day, like you the
Cause
one.
you
You
the one in it
understand?
too.
You the
You
one.
the one in
You get the
it too,
two right here.
baby.
Like you came in. You just showed up and you
Yeah.
showed the
Out
correct
of
amount.
nowhere.
Understand? I'm gonna tell you the truth. I love the two ladies that are on this podcast with me. Bree, Tiny, Heart. Understand? They have stood a space in my life in which nobody can understand. Nobody is able to understand because they ain't walked a moment in these shoes that I stand in. And Lexi, Aaron, bringing you into this, friend.
Look, hey
I see
friend.
you. You learning.
No
You
new friends. We got good people. We got good people.
right?
That's it. You
It's
know
like,
she good
ooh.
people. That's it. You know she
Exactly.
good people. I was
It's
literally just talking to
perfectly
her about how things work in a divine purpose and how you literally
super divine.
you take the L. You not even take the L. Like your comfort is just sitting in the back. I don't really rock with many people, and I'm telling you, like when it's funny because when she and I met, like we were off doing our training when we had to, and that's how we came apart. But like in the conversation, we literally just had like, I'm never a forefront person. I don't like that. I like to peek the scene and just sit in the back. But it was just like out of a class of what, Lex? 42, 40
But
something.
it's
One
30,
person.
60
One
something.
person, and it was Lexi. That was it, you know. And you find and pluck that good person. And like we've been on this journey, what, 3 years almost?
3 years, girl. 3 years
3
exactly.
years in
Yes,
this
and
beautiful.
you have.
Yeah, but it's like you find that one person, and you find those good spirited people. They don't
You know
come out. You
what?
know what I'm
It's
saying?
not good spirited, friend. Remember this. You find like spirited people because you have
Period.
the same spirit as the one spirit that connected to Lexi. It has to
To my
be
own
good.
horn, good spirit though.
It has to be
Like
good.
spirit,
You gotta stand in a certain space. You understand? You
good
gotta
spirit over
be.
here.
You gotta be right here.
No.
You have to be
But
right
think
here
of
to
vibes
come in
though,
the
and I think
fold.
it's so beautiful. You know,
Yes.
what is it? Lex, 3 years for sure though, right?
No, October 9th was our 3rd year at this job.
Yeah, in the journey, and out of class of 40 something, you always find that one person, and I don't know where the rest of them heifers went on. Well, I
It
ain't
don't
gonna
matter.
talk about
It don't matter.
Matter.
The rest of
I
them
don't like
heifers,
this.
they went to
Not
the
even
cloud.
no new friends. You just don't want to deal, okay? That's all.
Hold on. Hold on.
You don't want to deal with them. That's it.
Woo.
Doing
Yeah,
their
that
stuff.
was so
Are we
good.
okay? So we spent a great amount of time here. So Miss Monet, what's the next topic? What we got next?
So you know what? I had a great space.
What?
So I'm gonna start it off again.
Okay.
Oh, but I'm running Lex sex. So prepare yourself, okay? It's not really a topic. It's more about where are you in this world? You understand? In this world, I got three best friends at 35. Just turned 35 November 25th.
Woo woo.
Sagittarius like every day. You
Five
understand?
signs, five signs.
Ah! As my baby girl would do. Ah. um, at 35, where I am right now, I am enjoying my village. I worked hard on my village. My mother taught me one thing. It was the best thing she ever taught me in life. The people who love you. And if they don't, let them be. Because those ones who show up every day, those are the ones who say, hey, you're doing a great job showing up for me. That's why I'm showing up for you, right? Um, I am being the best mommy I can be to my children. Be clear. Everybody want to fit this societal view of a mother. My children don't require societal view. Excuse me. They require their view. What do they need from me today? What do they want from me today? How can I show up for them? Only them. Girl, boy, 5'3", whatever it is. How do I show up? Right? I work every day on being the best person for them. I work every day on maintaining these relationships that I build in this life. Um, it took 12 years. Understand? You breathe 12 years. But Tiny, 8 years. But Lexi, we in the making. Understand? You ain't going nowhere.
Period. He
You can't get
coming.
away
We
from me.
2 hours
Okay?
deep, y'all. 2
We
hours
still
deep.
2 hours.
Yes.
I gotta take my
That's what
cousin
we did.
home. Let me get
Okay.
my let me get my external home. You fucking with me, you stuck with me, B. You ain't gonna
Hey.
get away from me, and you can't get away from me. Understand?
Period.
So
Yeah.
we in there, right? It's about living and growing. I invest in every relationship the same. I love who I love. I'll always be that way. You can't get out of that, even if we're not friends. If I love you, I love you. If I don't, understand. I don't. But there is no second guessing. I don't want you to be confused.
Yeah.
It's understood. None of that. None of that.
I want to add something to that. Are you done? I
Go
don't
ahead,
want to cut
baby.
you off.
Go ahead.
I don't want to cut you off. I want to piggyback it. One thing about Alexis, and I have to say that made me feel like let me bring Lex into this is because you know how much me and you talk, right?
Uh-huh.
And you know how much I am anti other people. And I'm working on that. I am so working on that. And that's one of my things that because the anti people don't bring you to networking. And that's what we're getting to. But I have to say, having Lex as especially in the job, in the area, in the the employment that we're in, I must say, like the conversation that me and her have, I feel like it reminds me so much of what me and you we be daily cup of tea, right? And I never find any other person that's outside of me and you that can talk so robust. And that's why I was like, she would fit perfect into our puzzle piece. Talking about a book head and will send you books of glory. Let's explore these emotions, okay?
Let's get to this book club like little old ladies, B.
Let's nicely read an MNF person on this. That's I love it. You know how I get down, and like that's why I felt like she was so she fit perfect into this and knew without baby. Baby, I feel like I've known you since birth, and that's 12 years in. I already know, okay, and personality wise, like Lex, I love you. And as you get to know this group, like you will love it because they're hearted people. And in a sense, I feel like saying it without saying it, it's what you've been searching for, but you didn't even know it. And
literally,
I am more than happy to feel like, man,
don't make me cry.
Go ahead, drop
perfect for you.
Get that princess tear for us.
I know the glory tear.
That one glory.
That little one tear was perfect for you, and I'm more than happy. And just Lex, this is literally like all the conversation outside of when we have our own moments. This is what you yearn for. This great conversation, and it's so hard, y'all. I'm not gonna say y'all don't understand, but we all know, like outside of people who don't know how to communicate, it is irritating as hell.
Bleep me out.
Girl. You know. So Lex, so happy to have you here. Alexis, so happy to have you.
Legs. You go ahead.
Can I piggyback off of Aaron? So I too have a mentor, and I was just telling my mentor this morning how I really appreciate the source. The source is God, universe, whoever you choose to call him. I like the source because there is a higher being who puts us where we need to be when we need to be there. Right. So I really appreciate how the source is taking people out of my life, and I'm not phased. And I'm like, he's really putting me where I need to be. Like Aaron said, like I'm literally where I need to be when I'm supposed to be there. Like I know I need new friends. I know I need people who are in alignment with my journey.
How hard is that?
Girl, excruciating.
Boy, because like
I'd rather pull out my eyelashes.
Don't do that. Don't you dare. Don't you ruin your good eyelashes. But yes. How hard is that, right?
They're weird as fuck. Again, please, I'm sorry. Remember to bleep me out. But
this raw footage, okay? This is the topic. And like when we go further into it, I can't wait to other conversations that's gonna be
because they're gonna be really full. Look,
really
full. 2023. What is it? What's up for New Year's? You got a topic coming for New Year's? Because baby, I'm ready.
You know what? I already got so much stuff stacked up. I'm ready. Legs, look, Ebri, is y'all ready? Tiny, I already know. Tiny on the team. Like, you understand?
Girl, because that's the way she was fixing your candles in your vase. She on the team. Look.
On the team.
And all the lighting way.
You say you want me to lift it and did? Okay.
Look, let me
perfect.
It's beautiful, and words can't really express how much I appreciate all of you ladies right now. So I'm very appreciative. And again, I really just thank y'all for the invite. Thank y'all for being open-minded. Thank y'all for being welcoming. Like, just thank you. And this is the beginning of something amazing. I've been getting chills this whole fucking
yes.
I love it.
You're so welcome. And I'm just gonna say thank you for coming into my village and being good, being a stand-up person. You're good enough. Remember that. You're good enough to be in every circle. and you can step into my circle and blend in and be the woman that you are and be
Mhm.
accepted 100%. And I only want to give you that kind of energy every single day. And I'm
Can I
thankful
add
to
something?
receive that.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
want to add one thing before we get off of this topic. You two don't even know how much y'all have in common, and I'm gonna leave that to them. Y'all don't know
You
how
know, look,
much
burn it down.
y'all
You
have
know,
in
Ebri
common.
dropping nuggets.
I cannot wait till y'all really start to connect
well,
and
listen, at
feed
the end of
and
the
grow
day,
off of one another. Because like
it's
some
great.
things I legitly cannot identify with, and y'all like to the goddamn T.
Do you understand
I'll
me?
step out of it.
Listen, burn it down. Let's
And
pray
it's
about it later.
perfect. It's perfect. And it's a
It is
divine purpose for anything, every and anything. And
everything.
I'ma say, yeah, whomever chooses to call their God, but I'ma say for me, I believe God, this divine purpose was really connected for you two to feed off of one another. Great conversation, great verbiage, and you identify in more ways. Just wait, and y'all are gonna be in y'all amongst yourselves and be like, damn, you know, and the growth will happen beyond words, beyond me.
I
And
can't
I'm
wait.
excited
And
for
that's
the
what
both of
Black
you
women are
guys.
supposed to do, and that's what all women are
Talk
supposed to do.
talk
You
about it.
understand? Because let's be
Mhm.
clear,
Talk about it.
I'm tiny. She black in her soul.
Period. And that's all that matters.
She say she black in the soul.
In the
Shit.
Oh, you
soul.
understand me? The
Okay.
soul. I know her soul. Oh, in real life. Now, she may be. Hey, hold on. I'm gonna let her identify herself because I don't know how she identified. Let me not be too grown.
You
But
biracial?
let me tell you something. She may not be a black woman, but she truly understands that no matter how life goes, she has to understand the plight. She has to understand who we are, how we show up, how she shows up for us, how we show up for her,
Mm-hmm.
and everything that comes in between. I love her to death.
Yeah.
Listen, and I'm only 2 shades from her, so we gonna go to
Girl,
her.
you
You know
I
what I'm
know how I
saying?
feel
We
about
just
you,
gonna go. We
girl.
gonna look. We gonna give Tiny the floor, not to speak from any perspective, but to say how you feel about where you are in this life, how you feel about the village you've created in this life. Is this the best village for you? Question, right? It could be some goddamn heathens.
Who's asking?
Who's asking that? Right? You know, yeah, where are you in this world?
Whew. Um, Thank you for that.
Very welcome. You ready to
Appreciate
go?
it. Appreciate it. Appreciate
Right.
it. I mean, I can only suspect what people see when they see me. Just you know, prejudice is real. You get an idea of a person before you get to know him, get to know them in general. Uh, from race to gender identity to sexual orientation across the board, you build this mental image of who you think a person is before you even know their name.
Yeah.
And I I think that hurts us as a people, and I try really hard not to do that. I mean, some of it's so ingrained from childhood how we see things and constantly breaking these false expectations or standards or what's the word I'm looking for here?
All of them were good.
Just like I don't know. That because this is how you perceive a person, this is what they must be like, this is what their life must be like. And that you can have an understanding of who a person is before you ever meet them. And that doesn't make any sense to me. So I know as a white femme presenting woman that everybody thinks I'm a heterosexual person
Hmm.
and treats me accordingly. And then assumes that I am along that conservative kind of agenda because of how they perceive me and how I present. And that couldn't be further from the truth. Um, and in certain places, I feel like that puts me in an unsafe space because now they feel like I've lied to them and I didn't. They just had an idea of who I was before they got to know me. And, um, if we can work on that as a collective, then people in the world would be safer. The same way that we protect children and give them the courtesy to grow and express themselves and be who they are, and we justify it as, oh, they're just kids, so it's fine that they just show up however they truly feel. That's okay. But when you grow up as an adult, now you're compressed into this box. And as soon as you fit or don't fit, there's a problem. Because with fitting, there's a problem, and with not fitting, there's a problem. So either way, you're not good enough. And realizing that none of that even matters and figuring out how to safely show up as your authentic self, I think is the hardest journey of all.
Absolutely.
And right now in the world, I think I'm showing up as somebody who's learning how to hold their boundaries.
Oh, that's
Um,
the word.
Yes, she is. Jesus, let me be the right hand to the man for her. She is standing on those boundaries 10 toes down. Ibri.
That's
Miss Ibri is standing on those boundaries 10 toes. I got to give all my friends a shout. Lexi, don't you worry. You on the
it.
list, okay? I
I ain't
got to
gonna lie.
see it to know it. To
I'm
speak,
like
but
6 toes down on the
you're
boundary.
about 6. Listen, don't worry.
Six
Because
toes.
trust me.
Look, I was a half a toe
Do you
before this
understand?
year, so
It's coming.
Everybody got to start somewhere.
it had to be egregious previously.
Everybody got to
Okay,
learn.
look, it's
Look,
coming. Look.
Yes.
no. That's I think that's kind of my theme that's been the second half of this year is holding my boundaries that are good for me, and that not giving um unnecessary fluctuation in that or justification for people stepping all over them because they're family or because they've been here since day one.
Mm,
I mean,
mm.
if you're not reciprocating energy or giving me something in this
Right.
life, then why am I giving you unnecessary exceptions? Why
Amen.
am I bending my boundaries?
Hallelujah.
Exactly.
I feel like Lex
So
about to
A
come out
hallelujah on
here
the
right
second one. Let's give an amen and an amen
Boy,
again.
I felt all of that in my spirit.
You
From the
know?
rooter to the tutor. I felt
Mm,
it. Yes, ma'am.
yes, yes. I, mm,
Cause oof, child. Ooh.
I feel like this
allowing
conversation can get very
exceptions,
deep and
right?
touchy, and I'm not trying to do no tears right now.
Allowing
Yes, ma'am.
exceptions.
Breathe.
You know what
I
the
need to
truth
get a
is that
breathe.
we we as all as women, period, right? We as just people in this world, we don't realize how many exceptions we allow. Think about that. You allow an exception for a man. You allow exceptions for your friends. You allow exceptions for your family. Why? Boundaries are boundaries. They're
Mm,
set to protect you from
you.
everybody. Mama, daddy, grandma, grandpa, baby daddy, uncle, the husband, the wife, everybody, children,
And
Yes,
then
ma'am.
everybody.
the audacity of a person to think they're an exception to your boundary
Not just think, but
because
know,
they're family. Like the
know,
audacity, like
stand on
oh,
it. The truth. You understand? I'm your mama. How dare you? I'm your father. How
Nah, how
dare
dare
you?
you?
You understand?
Oh,
I better be the expectation, the exception to your rule, the expectation that you're going to show up for me no matter what. What?
girl,
Absolutely.
you the reason I got these boundaries. You better stop playing with me.
Ain't that the
You
truth?
better stop playing with me. You know exactly what I got
Only
these
reason
kids.
I
Stop
even know
playing.
about boundaries is because of you.
Look, I had to learn them because
I
of
had to
your
start
ass. Stop
somewhere
playing.
because of you.
Exactly.
You better know the facts.
Girl,
That's it.
girl.
That's it. Well,
Ooh,
ladies, I want to thank y'all so much today. All of y'all are showing up for me. And just know that means
you did
more
the
than you
damn
will ever
thing.
understand. I try.
hmm
I told
All
you,
I
Miss
did was get
build the
like-minded
ladder
people
to the
together.
heavens without it being anywhere. She will
Hey,
ascend it out of the air.
to the
I'm
heavens.
You know
telling
what it
you.
is? You know what it is? This is what it is, everybody. I don't know about that heaven from that ladder from the heaven. What I know is who I love and who I believe in, they better show up for me because I don't do nothing less than show up 100% for each and every one of them. What y'all showed me tonight, y'all got me the same. So we always good. Understand that. We're always good. There's peace and harmony in the land. The land. Look, the land.
Yeah, yeah,
I just
yes.
want to thank you all, though. I want to thank y'all. Tribe. This is my true tribe. This is who I live and breathe by. This is how I go in this world. This is who I stop and say, hey, I'm making a bad decision. Friend, help me. Sister, help
No, girl,
me.
I heard you from the other room on that phone call. No, ma'am.
I love him,
No,
though. I
ma'am.
love him. Oh, I
No.
love
Remember
him.
how much you
Girl, that
love
boy
me.
girl situation don't ever
Look,
cease. I don't give a damn how old you get. That boy girl situation is like from
Love
elementary on
him.
to the death. It's always like he say, she say type stuff. It never
Always.
fails.
It's always, friend, but listen. I
I
love
was about to
you.
say, and I'm the one. It's okay to love him, but make sure you love you first.
And that's
Period.
it.
Yes, ma'am.
Love us. Love
Yeah,
you. Remember, loving you is how you love other people the best.
because you
You
cannot
can't
pour from
love
a
nobody
cup.
if you don't love you.
Yes,
And I'm gonna
ma'am.
end it right there. And I want to thank all you ladies for joining me today. Oh,
Thank you.
Enjoy
yes,
it. It was beautiful. Can't wait to the next
Yeah.
topic.
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. You ladies have a great night.
You
Tribe,
too.
y'all got everything y'all can get from me tonight. Listen, like, subscribe, do whatever you got to do. Press all the
All
bells you
the
need to.
things.
Love
Double
my
tap
friends.
it,
Love us
like it,
all.
all the
Yes,
things.
yes, yes. Perfect. All right. Good night, ladies.
Good
Good
night.
Oh, thank you.
Good night.